This question involves solving simultaneous equations where one of the expressions is a quadratic, meaning that it has squared terms. So to solve an expression like this, where we have y equals 7 minus 2x, and we also have x squared plus y squared equals 34, what you should notice here we have quadratic expression, we have squared terms. So the recommended way of solving this is actually to substitute the first value here, this linear one here, into the second expression, and then create a quadratic expression, solve that expression to give us our two values for, in this case it will be for x, and then work out our values, corresponding values for y. So let's have a look at this in more detail. So if I take my expression at the top here, my y equals 7 minus 2x, and I put it into this second expression here. So I've got x squared plus bracket 7 minus 2x, so that's my value of y squared. Make sure it's inside a bracket, it's one expression representing y, and that's equal to 34. Now let's expand and simplify. So we have x squared plus 7 squared is 49. Then I have minus 14x minus another 14x plus 4x squared equals 34. So just to confirm that, we've multiplied 7 by itself to give us 49. 7 times minus 2x is minus 14x. Minus 2x times 7 is the same thing, minus 14x. And minus 2x squared is minus 2x times minus 2x. Minus times minus is a plus. So we get 4x squared. And that equals 34. Let's tidy that up. So we have an x squared term here, and we have 4x squared here. So we have 5x squared. We have a minus 14x, that's minus 28x, and then we have a plus 49 will equal to 34. We want to put this equal to 0. So we've got 5x squared minus 28x. Take 34 from both sides, we get plus 15 equals 0. So what I want to do now is to factorize this. On first inspection, this is going to be fairly tricky because we want two things that multiply to give me 5x squared, two things that multiply to give me plus 15, and then two things that end up adding to give me minus 28x. But let's try and break this down. Two things that multiply to give me 5x squared. Actually, that's not too tricky, is it? Because with the factors involved there, one of them is going to be 5x and one of them is going to be x. It's not going to be anything else. Two things that make 15. Well, we could be 1 and 15. It could be 3 and 5. It's a maths exam question. Always go for the factors that are closest together first. So always try the 5 and the 3 rather than the 15 and the 1 first. Just how it works out in the exam. So 5 and 3, but we need to make positive 15, but we also need a minus 28. So clearly both of these will be negative. Now it could be this, or it could be the other way around. It could be minus 3 here and x minus 5 here. One of those will expand correctly, one will not. Let's just work it through. We know the first terms are going to work. 5x times x is going to be 5x squared. We know that minus 5 times minus 3 is going to give us 15. We want to find this minus 28. So here we have minus 5 times x is minus 5x. We have minus 3 times 5, which is minus 15, and minus 15 minus 5 is going to give us minus 18. That's not going to work. Let's check the other one. We have minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 5 times 5x is minus 25x. And minus 25x subtract 3x is minus 28x. So that one does work. So this one doesn't work. This one does work. Now we can just solve. We have two things that multiply to give me 0. So either this one equals 0 or this one equals 0. So we put them both equal to 0. So we say 5x minus 3 equals 0, or x minus 5 equals 0. So looking at the first one here, 5x will be equal to 3. X is equal to 3 over 5. Leave it as a fraction. It's not going to do you any harm. And the second one, x will be equal to 5. So we have two values here for x. And now we need to find the corresponding values for y. There are two equations we use at the top, but obviously we will use the simplest one, which is this one we circled here, y equals 7 minus 2x. So when x equals 3 over 5, y will equal 7 minus 2 lots of 3 over 5. So y will equal 7 minus 6 over 5. Eek, that's horrible. Y is going to be equal to, what's that going to be? That's going to be 5 and 4 over 5. You might at this point just want to do it on a calculator, and you're going to get the answer of 5.8. Okay, so you may want to go, I don't want to work with fractions at this point. That's fine. You can always use decimals at any point within this sort of question. And then the second part is when x is equal to 5. This hopefully will be easier. What is y equal to? Well, y will be equal to 7 minus 2 multiplied by 5. So that is y equals 7 minus 10. Y equals minus 3. So to make it clear for the examiner what we're doing here, we're saying that when x equals 3 over 5, or 0.6, y will equal 5 and 4/5, or 5.8. And the other matching pair is when x is equal to 5, y equals minus 3. Make sure you match them up correctly, and that will get you full marks.